Good morning. How's it going? I am Matt with Foul Ball Productions. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my ongoing coverage of every single episode of The Expanse in order, thoroughly discussed, because it is my favorite show of all time, and I love talking about it. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you joining me on this journey. It's funsies. The Expanses is great. We are coming up ever so closely on the new season, which is like 10 days away, 9 days away. That's bananas. That's bananas. We are 9 days away from the new season of The Expanse. Season 5, the second to last season. Holy heck. I am endeavoring to finish all these episodes before then. It's getting a little tight. It's getting a little close down to the wire here. I don't know. I hope that I can make it. I'm going to try really hard. I might be streaming for 6-7 hours straight leading up into the premiere of this season. Hello, Jake Diesel. Jake D, you love this episode, buddy. Got to get you in on these, man. Hey, if you're available, I could drop you the StreamYard link in the Discord if you want to come pop in with this episode, buddy. I love this. I love talking this show. It's my favorite show ever. Season 3, I think, is my favorite season as well. This season really works. It pays off a lot of stuff like the proto-molecule. It pays off a lot of the Belter Earth conflicts. Ehrenreich gets his comeuppance. Everybody really comes into their own in this season. And then we also get Ghost Miller. Ghost Miller shows up. Oh, that's okay, Jake D. That's okay. One of these days, buddy. Speaking of Jake D, if you guys are interested, this evening, 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to say Atlantic, but Eastern Standard Time, we're talking the Christmas Chronicles. The Christmas Chronicles with me, Jake D, and Vigilante Williamson. So come back and check that out, because 'tis the season. 'Tis the season to talk about Christmas movies. Look, it's a Christmas logo. Because it's the Christmas season, and I love Christmas. We're talking Christmas movies. That was done with my friend Lindsay. Unfortunately, she had to drop off the channel because she has too much personal stuff going on and doesn't have the luxury to stream with me, unfortunately. The Investigator is so good from here on out. Oh, yeah. It sure is. It sure is. It's really interesting. This show is an amazing show. Best show on TV in my not so humble, but trying to be more humble as the days go on, opinion. I love this show. I think it's a marvelous bit of visual entertainment. I don't know if there's anything out there right now that compares to the quality of world building and exploration of ideas, writing, acting, all the technical stuff as far as the way it's shot, the costumes, the sets. I think it's the best show on TV. Yeah, well, I guess we should get into it. This is episode 6, Immolation. I think this is where a lot of things come to a head. I don't quite remember, but I'll know once we get there. If you guys are interested in watching along, there is a watch party link in the description. Feel free to press that and join me for the viewing experience. Instead of like imagining where I am in the video, you can watch with me. It'll be a fun experience for all of us. And if you haven't done so, please press like on the video. I know we all are sick of hearing of it. It's a meme. People mock it. I get it. It's annoying, but it is necessary, especially for smaller channels like mine, to help grow, to help this content reach other people. I really need your help to press like, press subscribe. Really appreciate it. I know we're tired of hearing about it, but this is YouTube. What do you want? It's all free. That's how I get my my penance. My girlfriend noticed a protomolecule residual in the Rossi when we watched the other day that I missed the first time around. Such an important detail. So many important details with this show that they just do not highlight. They show it and you either catch it or you don't. And that is what I love about this show. There is no time for you. There's no learning curve. There's no like, we're going to dole it out. And no, they drop you in the world and it's the way it is. And you need to, pick up and get on their level right away, which is really fun. I mean, just so much respect for the audience and so interesting. And therefore, I think it really makes you focus. And that's what I like about it. It's like it's an advanced show. You really need to pay attention. You need to give it respect. And that's why I think it works so well. So enough preamble, enough babbling. Why don't we get into it? If you, like I said, watch Party Link if you want to watch along. Episode 6, Immolation. Episode 6. Got the intro, as always. I guess, once again, just abandoned cold opens for the whole season. Okay. I do like a credit sequence that tells a little story. A little backstory is exposed here. You know, you kind of see the development of the solar system. You see the planets, then you see them slowly develop and grow, and more things get built. You know, the changes on Earth as far as the climate change that affects the future, how each, you know, part of the solar system gets colonized. Little snippets. They don't get into it too much, but you see just little hints. It's kind of like the Game of Thrones map. You know, that was all like that game board with all the gears and stuff like this. They're kind of doing that a little bit here. They're highlighting each area. Oh, look, it's Ganymede. Look, it's Luna. You know, there's little things to pay attention to. Nothing much, but just characterizes the world. And the more you watch it, the more I think you get on with it, you know, the more you dig it. And we're at war, baby. We are at war. Fun little fact, Jake D. I don't know if you noticed this, but Admiral Souther, the UN guy who got shot in the last episode, he plays the cop in Christmas Chronicles, which I thought was pretty cool. One of the cops. I was like, why do I know that guy? Like, Admiral Souther. But of course. So, oh, right. What's her name? Got the information. The Reverend got that information on Aaron Wright, but hasn't released it yet. Because I was like, why is Aaron Wright still like not arrested? But yeah, I know. Fun little detail, right? Took me a second too. And now we're here back on Io, and all those like proto molecule things are being launched. The pods are being launched, and Alex is like, Holden's like going to Alex like, blow them out of the fucking sky. And it's dope because they got the PDCs and they're just blowing up all the pods. It's so cool and high tension, right? Because if any one of these proto-molecule soldiers makes it to where they're going, I mean, who knows what can happen? You know, if they land on a planet or they land on a moon, I mean, just imagine how devastating that'll be. And what's amazing about this sequence is a lot of them get through. And poor Alex, he's trying, but he's just burning through all the PDC rounds, which, you know, I wonder if those barrels could overheat. Just occurred to me because they're out in the vacuum of space, which is ice cold. Could those barrels overheat? I mean, I guess at some point, right? I mean, the sun's still hot. I don't know. I need a scientist or a physicist to help me with that information, or just an engineer. The way they resolve this issue is insanely good. Yeah, they never take any shortcuts, man. They never take an easy way out or like a boring or obvious way. It's always very elegant. And even if it is kind of, I don't want to say like predictable, but kind of, you know, a path that makes sense, there's still the consequences always pay off in really interesting ways. They affect the universe. They affect the characters. It goes somewhere. It always has like a ripple effect, you know? Nothing's just like happens in a vacuum. Except for all of space, right? Oh, vacuum. Science jokes. Our crew on Io, God, they look dope. They're all wearing their Martian armor, the Martian Marine armor, which looks so good. Gunny's got her high-tech armor on with the minigun. And Jules Pierre Mao and his evil henchman, his Goebbels, is watching they're watching them come in. They think it's a Martian attack squad, which is pretty cool. I like it. Like that's a logical conclusion that they would make, you know, and like I think in lesser dramas they would zoom in, be like, wait, that's Holden. Whoa. Because it doesn't to these guys, it doesn't matter who's coming to get them, right? They just think someone's coming to get them. It could be Holden, it could be the Martians. What's the difference? But the fact that they don't just explain it to the like they let these characters think differently, I think is smart writing. Even though it seems like a little detail, it's something that a lot of shows would lean into too hard. They would be like, let's overly explain it. Let's have these guys know who's coming to get them. You know, they never pander. I love that. Admirable. Should be able to, but I imagine the slower than in atmosphere, you've still got the explosion and friction causing heat. That's in regards to the miniguns overheating. Yeah, I feel like probably, but yeah, like they probably have a longer life each barrel. I mean, yeah, it's got to be a lot because what's like space is like negative 100 degrees Celsius or negative 150 degrees Celsius or something like that. It's probably got to take a while to overheat those barrels, but I believe it's probably still possible. Yeah. Katoa on Io has turned in a full-on proto-molecule soldier. He is no longer that kid with like some blue. He's a straight-up soldier now. Which is pretty frightening looking, pretty intense looking. The proto-molecule soldiers are freaky. They are something else. And they're on a hunt. Yeah, this is dope. We get to see a lot of Bobby in action here, which is pretty badass. They all took their helmets off. Holden, Prax, and Amos. You think? I feel like those helmets would provide some kind of protection for your head. Why would they take them off? I mean, I know they're in atmosphere, like they can breathe, but like why? You could still get shot in the head. Wouldn't you want to not get shot in the head? Yeah, in regards to Katoa, it was, yeah, I know. It was really interesting. I was speculating in one of my streams, like, does the proto-molecule, could it ever have been intended to be used that way? Or did they just like figure that out by, let's try it. Let's just inject it in kids and see what happens. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty bold, pretty interesting choice by them. Like, let's just see if it turns them into mutant hybrid soldiers. We'll give it a shot. Yeah, there's so much questions I have about the proto-molecule soldier. Oh, I like this too. So they, the crew of the Rossi go in to attack the people on the lower levels of Io. Bobby just tracks all four of them and just burns them with her minigun on her armor. But Lord Thoth, hail to you, good sir. Lovely to see you. Always a pleasure having you stop by, working and listening. Just got back from my meeting. Stupid traffic. Stupid indeed. Stupid indeed. And so Bobby just takes them all out, but Prax runs in and just starts shooting because he's the amateur. And Amos is like, no, you take cover first, then shoot. Like, I don't know if that's military sound. Thoth, you would know. I don't know if those tactics are militarily sound, but I like the idea that he's learning, and not everyone who shows up into firefights knows how to do it. They do that in movies a lot, especially with people who have no reason to know how to fight, but they are taking out like soldiers and trained soldiers. And it's just, you roll your eyes a little bit, or you just kind of like accept that the universe is not that well conceived. But the Expanse doesn't take shortcuts like that. Characters do have to learn and grow, and they have to be trained, and they make mistakes in the field, like real life. I like that. I think it's just a testament to how complexly written it is, how much respect there is in the writing for what they do. And it's like, I don't know, it's admirable. And as the more I talk about it, the more it shocks me how much people just don't, how many productions just don't do this. How rare it is to be so considerate of all those details. Were the hybrids in the pods made from kids, though? I got the impression they weren't. No, I'm fairly certain they're all kids. I'm fairly certain all the hybrids in the pods were kids from their program. I don't know how else they would have made them. I'm not 100% sure. Thoth might know better than I because he read the books. I don't think I finished this book, or maybe I did. I don't remember. But oof. Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I thought they were all kids. We're back on the, I guess it's the Agatha King or the Nathan Hale. Whatever. We're on the proto-molecule. We're on the UN ship, and one of those proto-molecule pods landed and is now spreading the goo. So I guess my question earlier, do the proto-molecule soldiers spread the goo? Yes, they do. And now it's infected the ship, and Kotiar is tied up trying to get the hell out of there. And they do this really cool thing where like the guy infected with protomolecule was attacking this trooper, and she eventually like corners him and shoots him in the head, and he dies, but he just like stays standing because there's no gravity. But he's like magnetically sealed, so he's kind of like swaying like a balloon. I love those details. Uh-oh. That trooper who came in to help Cotillard, she's got the blue goo. Oh, no. Oh, no. She's learning. She's, yeah. Yeah. They were kids. That's what I thought. Yeah. I thought that they took all of them. Ah, yeah. That's so dark. So dark. Yeah, that's right, Jake. Yeah, I wasn't sure, though. I wasn't sure if every protomolecule soldier was essentially just like spreading the pores. You know, it's a pretty dangerous, oh, God. Pretty dangerous weapon there. It's like basically a biological weapon and a fighting killing machine. It's no joke. Well, the girl freed Cotillard, and now she's freaking the fuck out because she's going to become a protomolecule zombie in a moment. And they got to try to get the hell off this boat. Man, things really came to a head, huh? Mars and Earth are going at each other, and now protomolecule soldiers are just like peppering the UN fleet, the Martian fleet, spreading the goo all over. Oof, no good. I like Cotillard. I think he gets it at the end of this sequence, the end of this episode. I don't quite remember, but I'm fairly certain that's what happens. It's a damn shame, though. It's a shame he dies. It's a good character. It's a good character. I like all the little details, like the details like they have emergency vac suits like stored around, or they have like patch kits, or like there's all these like panels and things on the ship that like would make sense, like that would be there, you know, like maintenance things and just things that would help in the real world. I think that those types of things are really interesting. And then it's like it's at times convenient for our heroes, but it makes perfect sense. You know, when they come across it, it's like, yeah, there would be an emergency vac suit in a ship with that many people. Of course there would. That makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't there be? And so he can utilize one, and it doesn't feel contrived. Maybe you're right, Jake. Maybe you're right. It's been a little while since I've seen this episode. I'm not 100%. My memory is not crystal clear as to all the details. I thought it hit more than one ship, but I don't know now. Because a lot of them got away. I don't know if they're all going to Mars or what. I'll have to... I don't quite remember. Just odd that I don't remember because I've seen it so many times. Bobby's going after one of those protomolecule soldiers, and Avasala is in the headset saying like, this won't bring back your dead Marines, and she goes, shut the fuck up. And she's just blaring out that minigun at the protomolecule soldier, and I think she has the incendiary rounds loaded in her weapon. Oh, no, that's all good. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. Thoth doesn't remember either. I know it all pretty much gets resolved like halfway through this season, so I don't think it has any real lasting effects, as I recall. It's been a little while. That's just kind of fun. It's kind of fun to go through these details. I'll tell you what, this show is so well written and so complex that even on my fifth watch through of like season 1, I was like, wait, what happens? Okay. I like still had to have details like clarified in my head. I still wasn't 100% sure of every little thing. I mean, that's a testament to how complex the story is. That even that many times through, it's not like immediate. Like if I watched most any show 5 times, I would have, there wouldn't be anything I didn't understand for the most part. But this show still, you're like, wait, what was that detail? Great writing. Great writing. So I think the Reverend Dr. Anna Volovodov, I think this is when she outs Aaron Wright for being a straight up devil. Aaron Wright went straight up black hat. Straight up black hat. It's interesting to get some characterization too on Secretary General Gillis, because you don't really get that too much in the previous seasons. You know, he's just kind of more like a tool that's used by Aaron Wright or by Avasarala, like to kind of move the story. You know, obviously it makes sense that he exists and he's a person, but you don't get any like depth or characterization. But with these scenes with the Reverend, you really start to see a person. And I think she calls him the bobblehead. Avasarala calls him the bobblehead in the novels. And you kind of see that, you start to see that here, that he's really more just like a politician, concerned about his legacy, you know, just kind of wants to look good, wants to just sort of do the job right. Very reminiscent of Gavin Newsom. Kind of resembles Gavin Newsom. Has like a coiffed hair. Yeah, and just kind of an empty suit who just wants to look good instead of doing what's right for his people. What a perfect metaphor. I love that everyone hates Gavin Newsom now. Liberals and Republicans, like right and left, collectively hate him. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I love that. We finally found common ground. Rah, rah. Rah, rah. I think I want some Tachi gear. You know, I think I want like a mug or something from the Tachi, because it was only called the Tachi for like, I don't know, an episode, but all their gear, a lot of it still says Tachi on it. So it's like, I kind of like seeing that. I think someone who subscribed to me has Tachi, the Tachi station or the Tachi ship as their avatar for their what's it called? Like, you know, their YouTube profile. And then someone else had Agent JC Denton from the video game Deus Ex, and he commented on it, and I commented back and referenced that, and he never like acknowledged that. I was like, that's kind of a deep cut, dude, and I like noticed it right away. I don't know. I like to share that kind of nerdy shit. A little nod back, you know. It's all right. It's a great game if you ever have a chance. It's an old game though. I guess it's 20 years old now, but the original Deus Ex is a great game. One of my favorite first-person shooters. The mechanics are clunky and stuff by today's standards, but at the time it was amazing, and the writing is tremendous. Yeah, collectively, and it's really funny to watch that. I like that. Like, even people you just wouldn't expect, they're like, "Oh, what an asshole!" Like, yeah, that's good shit. That is good shit. Man, I just love the look of this show too. Like, they're showing the outside of Io on like a computer screen. It just looks so good. It looks so real. You know, this is kind of reminiscent of Aliens. You know, the complex, the colony on LV421, LV432, whatever it is. LV421, I think it is, right? Now I need to see. What is it? LV421? LV426. LV42. Is that it? Am I going crazy? Yeah, LV426. Okay. Oh, TK421 is what I'm thinking of. Is that a reference? My brain just locked up. I'm all frozen and like, what are the numbers? Wait, which movie? Which show? I'm all confused. Anyway, I was saying it kind of looks like the facility on Aliens a little bit. It's all dark and dingy, very industrial. No aesthetics considered at all. Just an industrial complex. I mean, it really does look very reminiscent of it. Like, even now, Bobby's like just laying waste to the proto-molecule soldier, or at least trying to, in her power armor. TK421 is Star Wars, yeah, and it's LV426 is the planet in Aliens. Is that right? I think that's what it is. But this looks a lot like the industrial facility that Ripley goes down into when she's like wearing the suit, or well, not before that actually, when she goes down with all the guns and goes and finds the Queen Hive. That's what this looks like. Oh, Bobby got hit. Oh, he got hit hard by the proto-molecule soldier. Oh, and down they go. Down they go. Don't know how that suit protects her from the impact of falling, but hey. Yep. Now Aaron Wright gets exposed. Oh, so fucked up. See, this is a satisfying ending. Very satisfying. Like I point out in The Departed, I didn't like that he gets shot. That Matt Damon's character gets shot. Good call, Jake. Good call. Low G on Io. You're right. She would have fallen a lot slower. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. But like in The Departed, where Matt Damon's character gets killed and shot, it's like, wouldn't it be worse for a cop who was crooked to go to jail? Wouldn't that be a much tougher existence? And so it's like, I like that Aaron Wright doesn't die, that he gets caught and has to go to jail. Much worse. Much worse. It's great. It's really cool. I like the power structure here. I like the what's her name? The Reverend. It's kind of weird. Like she's sort of like she's like sort of taking the place of Avasarala, but she's more like righteous, like waving a flag. Like she's more just like pure good. Whereas Avasarala kind of works within the system. This girl kind of is a little more, I don't want to say idealistic, but just more like good first and only. Wow. And they arrest him for treason. And he looks smug all the way to the end. Oof. Whoops-a-daisy. Yeah, I was going to go that way anyway, Aaron, right? There's nothing you could do to avoid that, buddy. He tried. Didn't quite nail it, though. Yeah. And this guy, and the Secretary General learns nothing. Nothing. He goes, my legacy was going to be a catastrophic war with millions dead. That would have sucked. He's like, but now it's all on Aaron Wright, so I'm free. No big deal. Everything's okay. It's like, but there's still millions dead because of you. It's like, yeah, but they don't know that. This is great. This is perfect. It's like, oh, God. Oh, my heavens. Yeah. Oh, this is, yeah. The way this episode ends is terrific. This fucking piece of shit. Dr. Lawrence Strickland. This guy's scum. This guy's a scumbag. Oh my God. Just gonna send all these kids to their death. And he's just gonna send all these kids to their death, and then he kills the woman who's helping him. And then right at that moment, Prax and Amos rush in, catch him, right after he kills him, right after he kills her. And then Prax is reunited with May. He was about to send all these kids out of the airlock. Jesus. What these people go through to cover up their evil deeds, man. That's almost worse than the evil deeds. It's like instead of, facing up to it, they like try to cover it up, and that gets even darker and darker. They just go down like a darker path. He's about to kill 4 kids. I mean, he's already killed like a whole bunch, really. I mean, because of all the proto-molecule soldiers. Oh, wow. Wait, why are they on the Razorback? Oh, that's right. Alex and Naomi took the Razorback instead of the Rossi to go investigate all the UN ships. Oh my God. The UN ship is like one giant infected Jake D. Amos. I am right, dude. Wasn't that awesome? I mean, how satisfying was that? Like Prax, like keeping Prax's like purity, but still getting the vengeance, still getting the justice. It's awesome. No, zero fucks are given on Io right now. The entire crew of the Rossi does not give a shit. Taking names, man. Taking names. Holden just dropped Mao's bodyguard. And Holden knows, too. Holden knows Mao's responsible for all of it. That's pretty badass. It's a very satisfying ending. It's very satisfying. Like an ending to this story, like this portion of the story. And like I love that like they just drop them like treating Mao like shit. Amos does the I am that guy. It's great. It's very satisfactory. Or like satisfied, not satisfied. Satisfied. You're just like, yeah, get him. Get him. It's awesome. Amos, no, seriously, shut up. Telling that the scientist to shut up while Prax is talking to his daughter. Amos, dude, is the best. He's the best. I think Thoth said he'd choose up any scene he's in. He absolutely does. Absolutely does. He just, and the way he delivers lines, like, no, seriously, shut up. Like, it's so like, whoa, like he's not fucking around. Like his eyes, even right now, just seeing like these kids that were in danger, like he's just like a pit bull, just ready to strike. It's really badass. Now Prax is this is a good ending too, because Prax is facing that moment where he has to like. He wants to kill Strickland. He knows that he should. It's righteous to do it. But it's kind of makes him like a better person that he doesn't. He just doesn't have to cross that line, Even if it's like righteous and defense of his daughter, the fact that he doesn't actually like have to, I think is it's better for the character. It's better for the dude. Yeah. Exactly, Jake. Amos doesn't let him cross that line. Yeah, exactly. Which is great because it's a win all around. And he's on his knees begging for his life. Fucking scumbag. Scumbag. He's going to launch 3-4 kids out into space to save his own ass. And now he's begging for his life. You fucking coward. I mean, he's also killed, countless kids. Kind of tortured them, really, by putting them through all that proto-molecule shit. Amos comes, you're not that guy. He comes to help him out. Gives him the out, and like Prax just isn't. You see him inside, like as much as like he knows it's wrong what happened, he just knows that he can't kill the guy. He just can't be that guy. And then he thinks he's being rescued. Strickland, and the door closes, and it's just him and Amos. He just slowly turns around with malice in his eyes. The guy knows. He fucking knows. I am that guy. Point blank range with the auto shotgun. Ba-boom. Oh, so satisfying. So satisfying. And Amos just walks away, zero fucks given. Where's Dr. Strickland? Oh, he's not coming with us. No, he had other things to do. Like have his brain splattered on the airlock. He's busy. Yes, we're back. Interesting, big change here. We're back on the Agatha King. I always forget what ship we're on. Whatever this ship is, a Nathan Hale. It's a Nathan Hale, I think so. And the bridge looks a lot different now. Lot different. Everyone's dead. Alarm lights are going on. Oh, Agatha King. Agatha King. Got it. Because I see it back there. I see it back there. I don't know how much of this was the mutiny and how much of it was the proto-molecule. Oh, yeah. There's a Nguyen. Win? I think that's how you pronounce that. I don't know. I should probably look that up instead of mispronouncing it over and over. But he was bad too. He was with Aaron Wright. Doesn't he get how does he die? Doesn't Holden pop him or something? I forget. I don't think Holden does much executing in this. Every once in a while. He's killed a bunch of people though. He killed a bunch of people on arrows and oh shit. We're back on the surface of Io. Win. It's pronounced like win. Thank you, Jake. That's what I thought. It's like win. Win. Yeah. Thank you. I think it's like the most common surname in Vietnam or something like that. I looked it up because I worked with a guy with that last name, but that was a few years back and I forgot. So now it's Katoa, the proto-molecule soldier, is on top of Bobby's. Oof. She's like down on her ass. And the proto-molecule soldier's crawling all on top of her. Ugh. It's creepy too, because like they're not really malicious, those soldiers. Like they're not really doing harm for harm's sake. They're just kind of I don't know, they're almost acting on instinct. And now she just like shreds his head. Just took the minigun, blew out the back of his neck. And down he goes. They can take a lot of abuse too, those soldiers. A lot. She lit him up a bunch. I don't know why that did it. I wonder if it's some kind of connective tissue in their spine. Yeah, they're exploring, right? Learning. They're not like villains, you know? I mean, they're villainous. It's kind of like every other conflict that's set up in this show, where it's really just well, not all of them, but a lot of them are really just opposing interests. You know what I mean? Like they have right. Like the proto-molecule soldier wants to eat the reactor core so it can grow on the radiation, and the crew of the Rossi's like, actually, if you do that, we all die. So please don't. But that's like the conflict. And it's like, yeah, they're learning, they're exploring. It's like the Leviathan, you know, the namesake of the first book. It is like waking up and like trying to look around its universe and figure out what it is and what's around it. Brainstem. Yeah, that's what it looked like, because it took it out like right out the back and just blew it out. So there goes the soldier. Yeah. It's just interesting. I mean, I'll point it out over and over again. Interesting writing with the soldiers, you know, not just like bad. We're bad. We do bad things. Bad guys. Blah, 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 blah. Like way more interesting than that. Way more layered. Way more complex. I really hope that eventually this show gets the recognition it deserves. Like I always afraid it would get too much recognition while it's on, so that it doesn't get ruined by outside influences who, want to fuck it up. But now that we know there's only 2 seasons left, the 5th one's done. I just hope it gets the recognition it deserves. Oh yeah. Right. What's his name blows it up? Kotjar. Because he's infected with proto-molecule, and I think that's what happened. He blows the ship up. Like he sets it to self-destruct so that it neutralizes all the proto-molecule. That's right. Noble ending. Very noble conclusion. That's the other thing this show does. Like, I'm sure fans of Game of Thrones know this. Like, when the complete worthlessness of Jon Snow's existence, like he gets resurrected to do fucking nothing. It was one of the most unsatisfying character endings ever. I mean, yeah, he kills her, whatever. That was so forced at the end. So he basically he had very little purpose. Kotjar's movement to the Agatha King, his escape from being captured, tied up. Now it's like there's a reason for all of it. He blows the ship up, which is a very important thing and a noble sacrifice, and saves countless lives. It's like there's a purpose to it. You don't just it's not just decisions and then they don't pay off. Like that's the worst kind of writing, where you just make a choice in an episode and then and you don't pay it, you don't do anything with it, especially if it's like an episode driving decision or occurrence. It's like, that's so frustrating. This show never does that. Never does that. He deserved it, good dude. What are you? I'm not sure. What are you referring to, Jake? I'm not. Do you mean Jon Snow, or what was that? Oh, that's right. They got to get the hell off. Yeah. So Alex and Bobby trying to get the hell off this ship before it explodes, but also they got to try to stop the pods from launching. Kochar, good ending. Yeah, Kochar. Yeah, great ending. Great ending. Great character. And I love that he's kind of like a surrogate son for Avasarala in certain ways. It's really like, it was great. Oh, and there goes, there goes the Razorback taking off, and that ship just explodes. See, I like too that they gave it 10 minutes to explode and then they just blew it up like next scene. Like there's so many ticking clocks in drama that after a while you're like, all right, already, just blow some shit up or just resolve it. They rely on that ticking clock dramatic tool too much, just too much. And you just, it's almost like tedious after a while. You're like, all right, already. And they didn't drag that out. They just blew it right up. Boom, boom. So all the pods are launching towards Mars. There's nothing they can do to stop it. But Naomi comes up with the solution. The only thing they can do is to ask Fred Johnson to use the missiles from Mars. To use the missiles from Earth to blow up the pods. It's pretty intense. It's a dramatic decision because they just don't know if they can trust Fred. Although Fred's character has been pretty honorable overall. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of reason to not trust him, other than he did keep all those nuclear missiles. Nuclear missiles. No, he shouldn't have. A lot of restraint, honestly, from the Rossi crew not killing Mao. The amount of people that died on Eros and all the pain and suffering that has been caused by that piece of shit. The fact that none of them even roughed him up, really. Pretty impressive restraint by the crew of the Rossi. But I mean, they could have just shot him and been like, yeah, he struggled. What are you going to do? Man, what a cool resolution too. And it's like it's such an interesting choice too. The way it ends. Oh wow, Bobby really did get beat up falling off that from that high platform. She really took a beating. Her entire body is bruised. She's been through a lot, this one. But the way they resolve a story halfway through a season like this, and then basically start a whole new story with the remaining episodes is really interesting. Really just unique storytelling. And then Fred Johnson does good. He launches all the missiles to stop the pods. Look at that. That's great. He brings Holden brings Mao before Avasarala and then drops him to his knees. She got him. Love it. Prax is back with his daughter. Really sweet. Really sweet. That's a great resolution to that story. Because especially where it starts off, you know, where Prax starts and he's like injured, Ganymede's destroyed. He thinks his daughter's dead, and they had to go through all this, and he gets her back. It's really tender and wholesome. And then, Naomi and Holden are in bed together. Naomi's ample booty gets some screen time. Very nice. Very nice stuff. Yeah. Yeah, but I think they did it right. I mean, I like the way they do this. I think it's very different. It's very unique. You know, you just don't get shows like this. I think it works. I mean, I guess I could understand how some people are like it feels disjointed, but the world is so well constructed and the stories are so good and interesting that I don't know, it doesn't bother me, and it never has. It does kind of keep you on your toes a little bit, but that's fine. What's wrong with that? So now, this is great. So they just blew up all those proto-molecule soldiers. And I guess maybe that's what prompted the thing on Venus to just leave. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, what is that? This giant, like, squid-like structure just leaves the surface of Venus and heads out into the solar system? Like, what is going on? Amos goes, what the fuck is that? So fascinating. And like, hey, it's not over, everybody. It is definitely not over. So cool. So cool. Did anyone really see that coming? Like, did anyone really think that the proto-molecule was going to be a Stargate? I never saw that coming. Not at all. Not at all. God, this show is terrific. I am really looking forward to the new season, and I hope I get through all these by then. I've got 9 days to do a lot of episodes, but we'll see. I'm going to hope that I can do it. I'm going to try as best I can, and I thank you very much for taking the journey with me. It's really fun. I love talking about my favorite show, The Expanse. It's an excellent, excellent show, and it's really fun to meet a bunch of people who love it as much as I do. Very cool. Please press like on the video if you haven't. Means a lot. Like I said earlier, I know we're sick of hearing about it, but for small content creators, it really matters. It really, really helps, and I really appreciate the assistance. Subscribe if you haven't. And if you're not doing anything later today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, me, Jake D, and Vigilante Williamson, a couple of awesome YouTubers, we are going to be talking about the Christmas Chronicles, because it is the Christmas season, and it's fun to talk Christmas movies. So we'll be doing that tonight. Stay tuned for that, and have a wonderful day. Bye, Beltalowda.